time to type things, so I'm going to quickly try a verbal report of my Clash of the Titans experience. That was a couple of weekends ago in Cherrybrook in Sydney. So the list was 2,400 points. Composition list, so they judged on how tough it was, how cheaty you were, and I took I call it my bet list. I took a list basically to pay homage to Tavis, who got me a spider for my birthday or for Christmas. So I put the spider together and roughly painted it, really roughly. So the list was a Savage Orc War Boss with a 2-up armor save rerollable on a boar with a great weapon. So we had a 2-up rerollable save, strength 7, strength 8 on the first round of combat with Chopper, and he had the Trickster's Shard, so reroll successful ward saves anyone he's going up against. So that was the first time I tried that combo. My BSB was a Black Orc, and he was on a boar as well, so he had a 1-up save and a 4-up ward, so fairly survivable, and just normal Black Orc, so he could go two-handed weapon, double weapons, or a single weapon and shield. I had a level 4 Savage Orc Shaman with the Shrunken Head, which I always run, and a level 2 Night Goblin Shaman with the Dispel Scroll and Iron Curse Icon, which again I always run. So that was it for characters. I had a big-ish unit, 28 Savage Orc Biggins with 2 choppers, so that was my Thumper unit, and I had 18 Black Orcs with a Flaming Banner as my other hardcore unit. I had 2 units of about 20 Night Goblins, no nets, 1 Fanatic, and they had bows. So they were little sort of redirecty, kind of threatening units with their Fanatic each, but a bit of light missile troop. And then I had a lot of war machines. I had 2 bolt throwers, a doom diver, a rock lobber, no mangler squigs. I took a pump wagon, and I took the spider. So the spider, being 290 points, took up a lot of the stuff I normally take, which is mangler squigs, maybe another doom diver, trolls, those sorts of things. But I thought I'd give the spider a run. I didn't put the flinger on it because I thought it would be too expensive. So Daniel and I drove down first thing in the morning and checked in. A beautiful venue in a high school, this modern high school, set up rooms for 40k. It was a big tournament, 40k, and Blood Bowl and Flames of War, and 2 rooms for fantasy. Heaps of vampires when I saw, lots of half-glued, undercoated vampire armies. A lot of people on the bandwagon throwing things together. A lot of orc armies, so I thought I was not confident going in at all, because I thought the list was, I got 2.5, no I didn't, I got 4.5 for my comp out of 6, so 6 is really taking them completely fluffy, and 1 is win at all costs, so I got 4.5, so pretty light. I think Daniel got 4 as well. So looking in, got their miniatures out, set up, ranked up, ready for game 1. Game 1 was against Brendan, who's a guy that plays in Newcastle. He was running High Elves, and he had a pretty strong list. He had a big bunch of Phoenix Guard with a level 4 mage with the Foliath robe. So luckily, playing against Tavis, I knew a few of his tricks and plans. Now the game was the media engagement one, I think it is, where you have random deployment. And that really worked for me. The table was fairly clear of terrain. There was sort of a river that we class as dangerous terrain on one side. So most of his army deployed in the middle or on the right flank, except for his Phoenix Guard and his level 4, which had to deploy right on the left flank. Now he bunched all his units up on the right flank, and then rolled for his Phoenix Guard and they were way over the other side, so bit of an error for him. He should have kind of put them in the middle to support either way. I got lucky with my deployment, and I deployed a lot of my faster, scarier stuff against his main group to make him think that I was going to sort of punch on with him, and a few of the slower things kind of in the middle, so I kind of pretended I couldn't fit them, so I put them more over to the left. My plan from the onset with this guy was to avoid his massive spearman block and his white lions and his sword masters and his BSB, which are all on the right flank, and just try and take out the Phoenix Guard with the mage and not lose too much. I knew there were a lot of points in that, and I was just going to try and go for a narrow victory rather than trying to table him. And it went according to plan. He took the bait, he ran across the table at my right flank, which promptly just disappeared, ran across. The spiders, the wolves, all that sort of stuff are really manoeuvrable. They can crawl over buildings and terrain and that sort of stuff. So suddenly he had no one in front of him, and all his troops were on the right. Everyone else sort of bolted towards the Phoenix Guard on the left, and I managed to take him out with some foot of Gork action. And he tried to get the mage out of the unit with the folio throw, but he was halfway across the board. But then he had I think 1 wound left or 2 wounds left, and my knight and my savage orc guy did that headbutt, the wizard snipe, and his scroll didn't help, his robe didn't help him there. He got nailed, so I took his level 4 out. I took him, like, I think it was 15-20 Phoenix Guard out. I didn't really lose anything, so I got a pretty good win. I think a 16-4 against him in the first game, and this is what it looked like at turn 5, I think, when I got everybody around the Phoenix Guard after shooting at them and trying to nail them for 3 or 4 or 5 turns. Game number 2 in the day. I was kind of dreading that. I had a pretty good win in the first game, and the problem is you win well and then you go up against somebody else that's won well, so maybe a really good player, and then you get slapped and so you lose big. So in my previous tournaments I've kind of won 15-5 and then lost 20-0 and then won, so you get slapped up and down and up and down. So the second game was against a guy called Richard, who was from Cessnock. He played demons. It was a pretty good game. It was battle for the pass with objectives in the middle, and I got lucky. I threw all my war machines at his bloodthirster, who he left out at the first turn, and took the bloodthirster down to 1 or 2 wounds. There were some big rocks at the back, so he just ran the bloodthirster, flew the bloodthirster behind the rocks, and he wasn't coming out for the rest of the game. Our armies came together. It was a bit, it was close. I was feeling pretty confident, but he was playing really slow. So we only got to turn 3, which was really annoying because my war machines was sort of moving each turn to sort of make sure there was no blind spot. I would have got 1 or 2 turns of shooting at the bloodthirster again with the rock lobber and the doom diver. Had it gone to 6 turns, and turn 3 he charged where the objectives were, and I was ready to counter charge in turn 4 and turn 5 with my savage orcs, but he was on the objectives at turn 3, so he got a lot of victory points. So I lost that one. I think I lost at 14-6, and a bit pissed that we only got to the third turn, but nice enough guy. And demons are always tough. Demons are real tough. He had a bloodthirster, fiend, a unit of 6 flamers that suck, a big unit of plague bearers, and a big unit of bloodletters, and 1 or 2 units of horrors. So the horrors are like a mage, and he had a herald of each, so champion of each god. So he had like a level 4 sorcerer of Zinch, and some kick-ass corn guy, and some really tough Nurgle guy. So each of the units of the gods had someone to back them up to make them tougher. So all the bloodletters had killing blow and hatred. The plague bearers, you were -1 to hit, and you kind of did impact hits like a cloud of fumes. And the sorcerer was like level 4 law master, steal my spells, so not fun. But so narrow loss, and it would have been nice to go to turn 6 to see how it would have ended if I got the bloodthirster and a few other things, but can't bitch about what could have happened.